You put a couple of directional signs up the day before an open house, cross your fingers, and get a handful of people to walk through the property. Done and done, right? Sure, if you're happy with only a handful of potential customers. I'm Jason Jakus, broker-owner of Next Home Advisors in Fort Myers. Let's take 5 minutes to talk about how to get potential customers to attend your open houses. I spend about 2.5 hours planning and marketing each open house. It's well worth the time because I get about 4 leads each time. I figured if I'm going to put the homeowner out of their houses for 3 hours, I want to make sure that I have an impact. Remember, an open house is an event, and you are there to meet as many people as possible. Everyone who walks through the open house is coming to interview you, an agent. I realized that in order to work my plan, I needed a consistent schedule for my open houses. So every new listing I take, I launch the listing on a Friday and hold the open house the following Sunday, 9 days after launching. I'm planning each listing launch and open house about 2 to 3 weeks in advance. As soon as I launch the listing, my open house marketing starts. First, I create a piece of art, includes a photo of the house with the address, date, and time of the open house. I post that to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. I repost it several times before the open house. So I may start with a post 7 days out and then repeat the post every other day. On Facebook, I post it on my business, personal, and company page, and on an open house for Fort Myers page where other agents post open houses as well. There are also certain properties that I like to farm, so I started Facebook pages for those communities. There I post events, pictures, and info about my open houses if they are in that community. Of course, I'm careful of spamming. I try to go easy on my personal pages and look for other pages that are open forums. The day after I launch the listing on the MLS, I go into portals such as Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, and Homes.com and claim my listing and put it in my open house state. By Googling open house sites, I found several local sites that port open houses in the area. Most of those tied into local newspapers. I post my open houses to several of those sites, including homefinder.com. Then I will ask agents in my office to advertise my open house on their sites. My company site advertises open houses on the front page of the website, so we promote it there as well. Tired yet? It may sound like a lot of work, but I use Hootsuite, the social media scheduling app, to schedule all of the posts a week in advance. I spend about an hour on Saturday setting it up for the entire week. Just keep the information simple, location, date, and time. Once I'm done with the internet and social media, I get a bit more targeted. Using Constant Contact and Teradata, online email marketing services, I target emails to agents doing business in the zip codes that the listing is surrounding in that area. If it's a hot listing, I send it to my entire database, which has 20,000 names in it. I invite buyers, agents, and welcome them. Finally, I'll post the open house graphic to community bulletin boards, Craigslist, What's Happening Fort Myers, and online bulletin boards and more. I also send postcards to neighbors near the open house. I want those nosy neighbors there. I want them to see the traffic I bring to an open house. It's what sets me apart from the others. It may sound like a lot of work, but it really isn't. Like any system, it's all up to the setup and implementation. If you spend time on the front end of setting it all up, it's easy to implement with each listing. And it works. We went from a handful of people to 15 to 40 people coming to our open house. You can do that too.